and welcome to In Their 20s. Today we are speaking with Michelle Hollis, the president of Sixth Street Consulting. During your 20s, higher education was not as encouraged as it is today. In addition, women were not encouraged to enter the technology field. What did you do in your 20s to combat these social norms?
I was raised from a young age by Depression-era parents that basically groomed me to be the best housewife that I could be. In high school, college wasn't really an option. And I ended up learning how to type and take shorthand very well, which got me my first job downtown. Growing up, I was really encouraged more to go down the path of becoming a secretary. So I did use that to the best of my ability. Ended up getting out towards Oak Brook and started working for an individual that owned a lot of property, and I did rent rolls, and I was afraid of the computer. And one day he just sat me down and said, "Here, let's play Othello," which is like you could do 50 times as much on your cell phones today that you could with this huge old computer. And that really got me over my initial fear. So I think that was probably my first mentor. And I was right at 20 years old at that point in time. I bounced around to a couple other places and started working went out of corporate America and started working as a cocktail waitress, and ended up coming out to California as a trainer. And I got to California and I thought all of California was just like Newport Beach. And that was in my early 20s, and that was a whole lot of fun. After 8 to 10 weeks of that, I came back to Chicago, sold everything I owned, and moved out to California. After I moved back to California, I ended up working as an assistant to the president of a company called Act 3 Communications. And I'd been in a law firm for a year before that, but just kind of bounced around looking for what was going to continue to excite me. I had really wanted to achieve, more goals than being a secretary. Things started opening up a little bit, so I was lucky enough to get a job at Act 3. I was the 12th person hired there, and the gentleman I worked for ended up being one of my greatest mentors. Not only was it very exciting to be at a company that was acquiring publishing companies and theaters, and Norman Lear is just a genius, so he would walk around. He was such a charismatic leader. But I really started working with computers at that point in time. And you could see it was just the evolution in the beginning of that industry, where I think in 1985, they said we would have a paperless office in a year, or 1986, when it was right around there. And I just laughed because it created more and more paper. So with the guidance of Tom, he got me to go to college, and I went to UCLA, and they paid the tuition, and I did that at night, and got a professional designation in business management and MIS. It was really a lot of fun to be able to start to look at how you could have computers talk to one another. And it was just like every day was a new puzzle to solve. It was a very exciting time in technology. With Tom's guidance, I ended up rising to becoming the director of information systems at Act 3, and we had grown quite a bit at that point. The film company did The Princess Bride and Stand By Me. We were doing lots of wonderful, exciting things. There was never a dull moment. There was always something fun to figure out.